All right, and here we are at issue 312, and we are probably in part 2 of this video now for you viewers. This is my Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 run, and boy, I already took up a half an hour getting this far, and we still got some ways to go. So for those of you still with me or just joining, welcome. Thanks for hanging on, and I've been kind of talking your guys' ear off as I've been showing off my collection, doing the best I can with one hand. And I've been saying that a lot of these need to be rebagged and boarded because some of these bags and boards are just nasty. 318, 319. And again, I've had every issue. There's another 319. I have every issue besides 266 from like what, 140, 143, 144, somewhere around there. 320. Second printing of 320. 321. And I hate when they did the deluxe because the numbers are way at the bottom and you can't even see them. But that is 322, 323. This is around, we're starting to get into like what, 1995 here, when I started slowly getting out of collecting and I started turning to the streets at that age as a teenager. And my life just took a turn for the worse. But I came out of that, thankfully. And one thing that really helped me, I had to wake up hard. I talked about this in some of my other videos, but I had to wake up hard right around when I was turning 18 and try to get my life together. And then I had kids young. And then when they were little, or when right after my son was born, my first son was born, was when Civil War was coming out in the comic books, and that really pulled me back into comics. And comics then helped me really kind of stay on track and on point. But this era was very interesting when I got out of comics because the comic industry started changing, and I wasn't really a fan of the art and the layout for the covers for a lot of this stuff. And it got really weird in the late 90s. Comic collecting got very strange for many reasons. And we know that Marvel faced bankruptcy, sold off the rights of their characters. It was crazy. 334, 335, 336. Oh no, no bag and board on 337. 338, 339, 340. So again, every single issue so far, 342, and this one's beat up, and it's not even in a bag and board. So that was besides 266, pretty solid run, and then I missed 341 here. Oh my gosh, this is blasphemy the way, even though this book's already beat up there, kind of let it bend. 343, 348. So here's where you'll start seeing some more holes in my run. 349. Really wacky art during this time period. 352. 355. 357. A lot more cartoonish. A lot more caricature. 359. 362, 363, 364. A lot of these here aren't in very good condition. I probably got them out of 50-cent bins. 369, 373. Oh, this is an issue. Big shout out to fellow YouTuber Don, Comic Book Junkie. A while back, Don had sent me a stack of some Uncanny X-Men books as gratitude for a custom Wolverine comic that I drew for him. And I know this is one of them because it's still in the bag that he sent from Heroes Haven, which is out in Florida. And are they closed now? I don't know. But yeah, so this was one of the books that he had sent. So big shout out to Don. That was so awesome of you to do that. 383. Yeah, Don is a huge X-Men guy as well. And I do believe that he has his Uncanny run like completed besides the Silver Age. Because we all know that like technically the Uncanny run is a part of the original X-Men Volume 1, but most people recognize it all as Uncanny, even though it wasn't called Uncanny until the 1970s. But when you actually categorize your books, Jim Lee's X-Men run is actually considered X-Men Volume 1. Whereas all of this, even the Silver Age X-Men, is considered Uncanny X-Men Volume 1. Number 397. What is this? I don't even know. 398. Here's issue number 400. Now we're getting into the 2000s, and this was another interesting time here because I think Marvel was trying to learn from the mistakes of the mid to late 90s, and I think they wanted to start taking another route. They started to get a little more mature at this point. I think what happened in the mid to late 90s with the caricature type art and more kind of silly stories was that they tried to go back to the roots of comic books of Golden Age or that Silver Age Marvel, where it was very, very basic, easy to read for young readers, very simple and childlike. And I think they tried to mimic that, thinking that that was the way to go, because we all know that, like in the 80s, comic books started getting really dark and more complex in their storytelling, and that was extremely successful. With like the likes of Frank Miller and what's his name that did Craven's Last Hunt. Oh God, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But so we saw a lot of that, and then in the mid '90s, I think they tried to go back to their roots, and it didn't work. It seemed cheesy and corny. And then in the 2000s, they tried to get back to something more modern and fresh, more articulated storytelling and more mature storytelling, and that worked. And ever since then, they've been on a solid path. Besides a lot of critics over the last like 5 or 6 years that act like everything is a political agenda, which is a whole nother video or conversation. I'm not even going to get into that right now. But I will say, though, over the last few years, some of the art is questionable again. It really is. And I understand that art is subjective. I understand that some people like caricature art or more cartoony art. Some, like myself, like more realism. But I just feel like there's too much caricature, too much cartoony, and too simple art out there. I think there needs to be a better balance. We're at 427 now. 432. 435, and some of these I pulled out of 50-cent bins. You could tell they're dirty and dingy. Some of them aren't even in bags yet. Like these. There's 440, and I'm trying to do my best to handle these appropriately with just one hand, with them being out of bags. 442. Should have bagged and boarded these before I did this video, probably. 443. 444. Oop, lost my place again. Sorry, guys. 444. And we have 449. Oh, I love this cover. I don't know why that is not in a bag and board. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take this out right now. It's in really good condition. You can tell it's red. It's like a very fine condition. I could give that a press, but I'm going to get that in a bag and board. I don't know what that's doing, just sitting in there like that. What was that? 449. And then we got 450. And we got 452. 457. Oh, there's another Heroes Haven. 460. That's a nice cover. 464. House of M stuff here. 466. 467. 468. 469. 470. 471. 472. 474. 485. 487 and 488. Now, that's that long box. Oh, let's move that aside. Oh. All right, guys. We are approaching 45 minutes total for my Uncanny. Oh, look. We're almost there, guys. So for those that have stuck with this whole run, you guys are super troopers. Whew, here we go. Final lap here. And I love the art during this period. 490. Two 490s. 491. Amazing cover there. That's in a Mylar. 492. 494. 495. 496. 497. 499. 500. 501. 503. 504. 505. 506. 507. These ones that have the dollar price tag on it, I believe I got from, here's 508. Love that cover. Great, some Greg Land. I got from Pinole Cards and Comics. Yeah, Pinole Cards and Comics. Down in the Bay Area next to Richmond, by my parents' house. They've been around since the 90s. And they had a bunch of stuff in some dollar boxes. Another awesome cover, 509, 510, awesome variant, 513, 514, 515, 516, 517, 518, 519, 520, Terry Dodson art, 21, 522, 527. Oh my gosh, another one that needs to be bagged and boarded. I'm going to take that out. 528 to be bagged and boarded. Let's see, did I lose my place now? Sorry, guys. 527, there's 528, and then we got 534, 536, 537, oh, and there we are. And then we got annuals. So let's look at the annuals real quick. We got annual number 6, annual number 8, annual number 10, annual number 12, 2 of them, annual number 13, 2 of them, annual number 14, so I must have 2 annual number 14s, because my other one is in my my key book. I mean my key box. Annual number 15. 2 of them. 3 of them. Annual number 16. 2 of them. 3 of them. Original from when I was a kid with a cardboard back. And then what is this? Some random 500 issue celebration Marvel Spotlight. Guys, there it is. So everything else. So right after this, they reset it. I believe it was 2011 is when they first reset it. And then it got carried into Marvel Now. And all of that is in my boxes right there. But technically, when they reset it, that's when it turned to Uncanny X-Men Volume 2. So, wow, guys. That took almost an hour to go through that whole run from 3 different boxes. And, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what I have for my Uncanny X-Men run. I guess you could say it's decent since it took 50 minutes to show off. Let me guys know what you think in the comments. Leave some feedback. Let me know if you guys want to see some more runs and what it is you would like to see next. And once again, thank you guys for the constant support and for hanging out with me. And, I hope we can do this again soon. So for those still watching, thank you so much. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And until next time.